Are you tired of watching your money disappear faster than a magician's rabbit? What if I told you that the difference between being broke and being wealthy isn't luck, talent, or even how much you earn, but rather a simple shift in how your brain processes money? Today we're diving deep into the psychology of personal finance, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why your current money habits are sabotaging your future, and exactly how to rewire your financial mindset for lasting wealth. Let me start with a shocking truth that will make you question everything you think you know about money. The average American spends more time choosing what to watch on Netflix than planning their financial future. We're talking about 37 minutes per week on entertainment decisions versus less than 15 minutes per month on financial planning. Your brain is literally more invested in fictional characters than your actual financial character. This isn't your fault. Your brain is wired against wealth building, and the financial industry profits from keeping you confused. But here's the thing. Once you understand these psychological traps, you can flip the script entirely. The first trap is called the present bias, and it's destroying your financial future right now. Your brain is hardwired to prioritize immediate rewards over future benefits. This made sense when we were hunter-gatherers, where finding food today mattered more than planning for next season. But in today's world, this same instinct makes you choose the instant gratification of buying that coffee, gadget, or outfit instead of investing in your future self. Think about it. When you see a $5 coffee, your brain doesn't calculate that same $5 invested could be worth $15 in 10 years. It sees comfort, warmth, and social connection right now. The future version of yourself who could use that money doesn't feel real because your brain can't emotionally connect with someone it can't see or touch. Here's where it gets interesting. Wealthy people have learned to hack this system. They use what psychologists call temporal reframing. Instead of thinking about money in terms of what they're giving up today, they think about what they're gaining in the future. They've trained their brains to find emotional satisfaction in delayed gratification. But there's a specific technique that makes this transformation almost automatic. It's called the future self-visualization, and studies show it can increase saving behavior by up to 40%. Here's how it works. Close your eyes and imagine yourself 10 years from now. Really see this person. What are they wearing? Where do they live? How do they carry themselves? Now imagine this future you thanking present you for the financial decisions you're about to make. This isn't just positive thinking. This is rewiring your neural pathways to make your future self feel real and emotionally significant. The second trap is even more insidious. It's called the comparison trap, and social media has turned it into a financial weapon of mass destruction. Your brain has something called the social proof mechanism, which constantly evaluates your status relative to others. This served us well in small communities where keeping up with the group meant survival. But now, you're comparing your behind-the-scenes reality to everyone else's highlight reel. When you see someone posting about their vacation, new car, or expensive dinner, your brain interprets this as evidence that you're falling behind. This triggers what psychologists call social comparison theory, which drives you to spend money you don't have to maintain a lifestyle you can't afford, to impress people you don't even like. The wealthy understand something crucial about this trap. They know that real wealth is invisible. The person driving the modest car and living in the reasonable house might have millions in investments, while the person with the flashy lifestyle might be drowning in debt. True financial success isn't about what you show the world. It's about what you own that the world can't see. Here's a counterintuitive strategy that millionaires use. They practice something called stealth wealth. They intentionally live below their means and find satisfaction not in impressing others, but in the quiet confidence that comes from financial security. They've rewired their brains to find social status and net worth, not lifestyle inflation. The third trap is the most dangerous because it feels like protection. It's called loss aversion, and it's why you're probably not investing even when you know you should be. Your brain is wired to feel the pain of losing money twice as intensely as the pleasure of gaining the same amount. This made sense when losing resources could mean death, but now it keeps you paralyzed in low-yield savings accounts, while inflation slowly erodes your purchasing power. This is why the stock market feels scary, even though history shows it's one of the most reliable wealth-building tools available. Your brain focuses on the possibility of losing money rather than the probability of gaining it. You're so afraid of going backwards that you refuse to go forwards. But here's what successful investors understand about risk. The biggest risk isn't losing money in the market. It's the guaranteed loss of purchasing power from not investing at all. They've learned to reframe risk from something to be avoided to something to be managed. The solution is something called dollar cost averaging, but not for the reasons you think. Yes, it reduces market volatility, but more importantly, it reduces psychological volatility. When you invest the same amount every month regardless of market conditions, you're training your brain to see investing as routine rather than risky. Now let's talk about the most powerful psychological principle in personal finance. It's called the compound identity effect, and it's why some people seem to effortlessly build wealth while others struggle despite making more money. Your financial behaviors aren't random. They're driven by your identity, by how you see yourself. If you see yourself as someone who's bad with money, you'll unconsciously make decisions that confirm this belief. If you see yourself as someone who's building wealth, you'll make different choices, even small ones, that align with this identity. The secret is that wealthy people don't just have wealth, they have wealthy identities. They see themselves as investors, as people who make smart financial decisions, as individuals who prioritize long-term success over short-term comfort. This identity drives their behavior, which creates their results, which reinforces their identity. Here's how to hack your financial identity starting today. Stop saying I can't afford it, and start saying, that's not a priority for me right now. The first statement reinforces scarcity thinking and makes you feel powerless. The second reinforces that you're in control of your choices and prioritizing your future over immediate desires. Start calling yourself an investor, even if you're only investing $20 a month. Language shapes identity, and identity shapes behavior. When you start seeing yourself as someone who invests, you'll start acting like someone who invests. But here's where most people mess this up. They try to change everything at once, which triggers what psychologists call decision fatigue. Your brain has limited willpower, and when you overwhelm it with too many new financial habits, it rebels and you end up worse than where you started. The solution is something called the 2% rule. Pick one financial habit and improve it by just 2%. If you're spending $500 on dining out, reduce it by just $10. If you're saving nothing, start with just $10 a month. This feels so small that your brain doesn't resist it, but it creates momentum that builds over time. Here's the psychological magic. Once you successfully implement one small change, your brain craves more success. You start to see yourself as someone who makes good financial decisions, and this new identity drives you to make bigger and better choices. Let me share the most powerful financial psychology hack I know. It's called the pay yourself first principle, but with a twist. Instead of just automatically saving money, you're going to automate your wealth building identity. Set up an automatic transfer of just $25 from your checking to your investment account every week. But here's the key part. Every time this transfer happens, take a moment to acknowledge it. Say to yourself, I'm someone who invests in my future. You're not just moving money, you're reinforcing your investor identity. This works because of something called the Benjamin Franklin effect. When you act in a way that's consistent with an identity, your brain assumes that identity must be true. You trick your brain into believing you're the kind of person who makes smart financial decisions by consistently making smart financial decisions, even small ones. The final piece of this puzzle is understanding that your financial success isn't just about you. It's about rewiring the financial DNA that gets passed to your children, your family, and your community. When you break the cycle of financial struggle, you're not just changing your life, you're changing the trajectory of everyone who comes after you. Financial freedom isn't just about having money, it's about having choices. It's about sleeping peacefully, knowing you can handle whatever life throws at you. It's about having the confidence that comes from knowing you're in control of your destiny. The difference between people who build wealth and people who struggle financially isn't intelligence, income, or luck. It's understanding how psychology drives financial behavior and using that knowledge to create systems that work with your brain instead of against it. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make today. The question isn't whether you can afford to implement these strategies. The question is whether you can afford not to. Your wealthy future is waiting for you to claim it, one psychologically sound decision at a time. Start today, start small, but start. Your brain is ready to be rewired for wealth, you just need to give it the right programming.